Yes. Stop. Like that wine is for trade.
Is this acting?
Wine,
Oh yeah,
sir.
yeah. This is 100% acting,
Oh,
or it's
Sorry.
real.
Sorry, some of the people in the camp just are still not used to caravanning. They're new. We just hired them on. We were in Draj for a few days. We needed to resupply after a elven tribe invaded and killed off some of our caravan, and they're just not used to the road. We're still getting them used to the winds. We had a great dust storm yesterday that came through, and we lost 5 of the new ones because they thought they could save themselves by just laying down and cover themselves with a cloth, with their shroud. Needless to say, they were buried alive. We have no idea where they are. I'm sure they suffocated to death. So, but I'm glad that you are able to keep up with us once again so we can continue this story that I have been telling. And where I believe I left this tale off last time was at the caves of the Yuan-Ti silk traders. Alcazar silk, king's cloth, as it is better known throughout the lands of Athos. Our heroes, our clutch, had discovered an operation where they were producing this coveted silk that oftentimes goes for as much as 100 gold pieces a bolt. A king's ransom, literally. And a cloth that is usually reserved for the sorcerer kings, their Templars, and perhaps just a few of the most wealthy of merchant families. Places like House Stell, House Sham in Nibene. But the way that this silk is created has always been somewhat of a mystery. It was always assumed that it was just a finer grade of the standard silk that is collected from the silkworms that populate Athos here and there throughout the wastes. But as it turns out, king's cloth is made through a much more insidious process where the actual internal organs of an individual, the thread that runs through a person's body from the brain all the way out to the fingertips, is horrifically transformed through a horrifying process wherein the victim is connected directly into the brood mother. This internal structure of the individual is converted into silk, leaving behind this husk of what was left, and the entire process, which can take weeks, is 24 hours a day hell. And inside the silk production, the caverns that are being run by the Yuan-Ti, there are at least over 100 victims, according to an individual that the party has encountered by the name of Bap, a silk specialist who has been enslaved by his serpentine oppressors in order to oversee this operation and make sure that everything runs appropriately. And our party came across this operation just as their former companion, Chase, had been taken away after he had betrayed the group, running off on his own, stealing some of the group's water, and stealing a precious possession belonging to the half-giant Craucus. But he was captured by a silkworm and taken back to one of the auxiliary caverns from which the Yuan-Ti harvest their victims, taken in, and is now being prepared to be connected to the Brood Queen. and have his life horrifyingly stripped from him and transformed into this coveted cloth for the most decadent elites of Athos. And in this process, Ma'ak, our Thrycreen Psionicist, had made a connection with Bap and has begun to communicate with him, who is desperate to be free of the yoke of these Yuan-Ti oppressors, and so has been helping them find the back door into this cavern, a switchback road that leads up the face of a mesa to a lone ruined tower known as the back door, where the Yuan-Ti do not seem to guard too diligently. And supposedly at dawn, there is a change of the guard that happens, lasting between 15 minutes to a half an hour, where the Yuan-Ti, who despise the dawning of the sun, retreat back into their dark subterranean refuge and leave that back way vulnerable for just a few moments. But it is filled with treacherous pit traps all along the way. And Bap assures the group that he can guide them safely up this switchback. Unfortunately, as we left our group, he had sent forth his familiar, an orcata, not an orcatha, but a true vulture, a condor of the Athasian steppe, to help guide the party along their way. Unfortunately, as soon as this bird took aloft and soared into the morning sky, Craucus spotted a tender morsel and threw a stone high into the air, striking it, causing a burst of feathers to fall to the ground, and the condor plummeted to its death, smacking wet upon the stones at the top of the mesa. And that is where we are now, as the familiar of our poor Bap, who has been robbed of his spell cylinders and only has at his disposal those few spells left to his mind that he memorized just before his enslavement, that he's been holding on to all of this time, has now lost the one companion that has kept him perhaps sane through this horrible months-long ordeal. So, Bap, you have just experienced the trauma of seeing through your familiar's own eyes its death moment. What do you do?
Am I still linked with Mamak?
Yes.
Well, I haven't broken that link, so
Okay,
yeah, I imagine we're still connected.
So I
Give
mean,
me actually, before you do anything, give me a wisdom save.
okay.
Luckily, this isn't second edition, so you're not going to lose levels or anything.
Nice.
I
Get it. Ooh, an 18.
That's an 18 for you folks at home.
Yeah, and make sure, everybody, that when you roll, you announce your roll.
that was an 18.
Okay. So, with an 18, you managed to stifle your cry of shock.
I stifle my cry internally, but I shout through my psychic link. Mark, what have you done? What has your stupid friend done?
I am so sorry. I imagine that whether he meant to or not, Bap shared his emotional trauma through the meta concert, and that Desi and I are now feeling what he's feeling.
Inside your psychic space, the luminescent orb that is Bap goes from a sort of anxious yellow to an intensely erupting a series of reds and purples.
Ma'ak is feeling this loss, whether he meant to or not. He's got to play Tech Chakak. He's got to get above this. So sort of squares his shoulders, but he turns his gaze to Desi and says, "The giant threatens to spoil the hunt. What should we do with him?"
I don't know how to control a giant.
Do you want me to try to talk to him?
I do.
Right. I don't want to lose the contact with Bap, but I will move my link with Desi off to Craucus. And Craucus will hear Ma'ak's telepathic voice for probably the first time in a day or so, except maybe some light conversation here or there. And Ma'ak turns and says, "What are you doing? We are on a hunt. Do you not remember?"
I do not know what you are. I'm sorry. I do not know what you are talking about.
We are hunting snake men
And I hunted
by
that
throwing
bird.
boulders to explode and echo throughout this canyon. Do you not think you threatened to give our position away? Not only that bird was not food, but in fact an ally, an extension of BAP. I'm sorry if I didn't make that clearer to you all.
Oh no! What the? And
That was our way of finding the way up this switchback and locating the pit traps, Craucus.
so
Now,
Craucus stands, all near 12 feet of him, walks away from you and approaches Desi. What would you do?
What would I do now? There is nothing to do now.
Oh, there's nothing to do now.
Obviously, all we can do is move forward, but all of
Perhaps
us
in
would
the
do well to
future-
communicate in advance. Craucus needs explicit instructions, and he'll follow them to the T.
Oh,
but
I'm very
you can't
smart.
expect him to know what's coming unless you tell him.
all right then, Craucus. It's taken me a day or two to realize what you're doing, but you're actually imitating Desi, aren't you?
I am not imitating Desi.
But you're
I'm a hero.
but you're trying to act like her, yes? Well then act like her. Look to her for your commands. She is your Gitok Hos. She is your clutch leader.
Good of course.
You do not have the benefit of the Kreen. None of you do. You need to learn. This is tick jock, but you need to know
tick
tok jock
jock.
first.
And Doc
The
Chalk.
clutch supports the hunt, so the hunt can support the clutch.
And
Do you
I
understand?
Yes, I hunted the bird for everybody, so we could all eat.
No, we are hunting snake men. We are
I've
hunting
never
snake
eaten
men.
a snake man.
You're about to.
I just want to make clear, are we all very clear that we are going up a trail that has traps in it? I just want everyone to know that we are going into trap territory, which means we must be very, very careful about where we put our feet be, and we will be very not hasty.
No, it would be silly to be hasty, and we must be delicate, and so smooth
Yes,
with this
sir.
will go.
Bien sûr, mes
Craucus
amis, you
is-
have it.
Craucus is looking at Sha'ar and Geza like they're the problem, by the way. Like, weren't you listening? We must be careful.
Yes, Crowcus. I'll be careful.
Okay.
That is right. You must listen to Crowcus. Very careful, Birdman, who does not put his feet on the ground anyway all the time.
I will carry you. You do not know have the grace of me.
It's true, always.
How much of this do I hear?
Probably, I mean, not much, but Ma'ak could share. He has perfect recall, so in theory, if I wanted, I could almost share it. Like, it would almost be like a glitchy Zoom call. You'd be like 5 seconds behind the conversation, but in theory, I could share everything I saw and heard.
I really kind of want to see how now Crowcus is imitating Desi. This wasn't his accent to begin with. I don't even know what he's trying to do, but he's saying like he's acting like like. Okay. So having said that, okay.
Well, Bap and I were talking, right? So,
yeah.
Bap, I am again ever so sorry about your bird, but is it possible you could guide me to locate where these traps are, or
what was
Desi,
your
perhaps?
What was your bird's familiar's name, Bap?
I didn't name him because I didn't want to get too attached.
Well, you're attached. So you're attached. I mean, this is probably the only thing that has been keeping you sane throughout this entire
I thought I
thing.
had summoned it as a ritual while everybody was resting. So
Well, no, I mean you do, but when you do, you summon back the same bird, and
It's
then
the same
you release
spirit.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same creature that just goes to another plane, and then you can recall it. So it's always.
So I
If
had
it's killed, it can be brought back, right?
I think that's
Oh.
how 5e works. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Well,
pretty sure.
not in Dark Sun. We're gonna say like everything has consequences. Everything's permanent. Like things are permanent. Your familiar has been killed.
his name
and
was Freedom.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, that's the best.
If you weren't an NPC, I would give you bonus XP right now.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I say, Mark, I will do my best to guide you, but when I am freed, there must be restitution above and beyond my freedom.
We will ensure we will make amends to you in any way that we can. But first, we must free you as well as our other companion if he can still be saved.
And perhaps I might suggest you have that giant walk first in front as your first adventure.
My sentiments exactly. And I will actually give a after you gesture with my 4 arms for the giant to walk first.
Okay.
I'm going.
So
to...
we're going to assume.
What do you think? This is not strategically correct. Or is it? And he takes the damage. Can we just send him and like he will take all of the damage from the traps and not even notice it is happening?
Well, okay. So here's the thing. You're waiting for the right moment to go. You had remember you had 47 minutes. Mm-hmm. From the time, from the time till sunrise happens. So probably about 20 or so minutes of that time has passed. So you're not actually where you are right now on this map. You're further away. Perhaps even on the other side of the canyon, looking across, or further up. So it's a question now of deciding like basically talking to BAP and figuring out what you have about 20 minutes or so to get your plan nailed down before it's time to make that mad dash up the hill.
If it's easier to spot the traps from the air, I can take short leaps up above and...
Well, and I can throw you so you get the even greater height.
It's true. We've done this before.
If you would like, I can. Basically, you suddenly hear Ma'ak's voice in your mind, Geza, and says, I can coordinate between you and Bap. Bap, meet Geza.
Yes, Bap, I'm truly sorry about what happened to your bird friend. I sympathize. But Perhaps I can take his place in this moment, and you can tell me what you would have had your bird do.
Okay, so I mean, just a table talk, Aaron. I'm, I have the map, but I don't. There's no indication of the traps on it.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So you know that the first trap is towards the inside corner of the first switchback, and you know that the second trap is halfway up the hill from that switchback to the second switchback. The third trap, give me just a second. There's a third trap. Where are you? Just a second. Sorry, give me a second.
What's the skill required to disarm traps?
Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Ooh. I will point out that I do have a magnificent sleight of hand.
All right.
Me too.
You can try if I fail, Crocus. You can be my backup.
Okay, I will be your backup.
Thank you.
So can I? So I don't. Do I need to repeat it, or can we just assume that I just relayed that information?
Yeah, you read that, but hold on. I'm
Okay,
telling
sorry.
you where the other trap is. Where the other traps are.
Oh, great. He forgot where the traps are. We're really...
Well, no, there's.
Oh, you stepped on a trap. Hey.
Never mind. Okay, so yeah, the third trap is at the very. So the third trap is at the very top of the hill, just outside the tower, kind of to the northwest of it. So not directly as you come into the space where the tower is, but sort of the area where you kind of walk around to actually, because there's a lot of rubble around the exterior, making it hard to gain access. So there's really only one egress or one entry into the tower itself. And this kind of stands kind of right in that path, just to the northwest of that. So there are 3 pit traps. Like I said, the first one is at the first switchback. The second one is sort of halfway between the first and second switchback. And the third is at the very top of the hill, just outside the northwest corner of the tower.
So with 3,
they are
pit traps,
hid
just...
very. Well, hold on. Sorry, you do know that they are hid very, very well. You even flying high up over the area, looking down, where it oftentimes is easier to see deformities in the landscape, probably would not be successful in detecting them. So. You can give them the general area, which you just did, but it's still going to require caution because, I mean, you can't give them the map that you know inside your head. You can't tell them exactly where to step.
Is it possible, Ma'ak, for Bap to see through my eyes through you?
Not exactly. You could share your memory of what you just saw, and Bap would see it as if experiencing it. So it's kind of just this delay thing that, in theory, we can do. I'm almost imagining, Aaron, that like it's sort of like this astral space where we're just kind of like, oh, look at this, oh, look at that, like in our mind sphere, so to speak.
And
we can share images, we can share emotions, we can share whatever, almost as if we had experienced it in the moment, right? So it's predicated on memory, which is why it's like that's why I took that feat in the first place, right? So like he has perfect memory. So like in theory it would be like almost being there as opposed to just being sort of more dreamlike, which I imagine our memories would be like for the less psychically inclined, I guess, right? Yeah. So I don't know, it's really your call, Aaron, how much detail can be shared, but in theory,
well, it's
Geza
not going to be like
over and he's like I like here's what I'm seeing. And Bap goes, "Oh, that big boulder there, that's the edge of the pit." Something like that.
And
we could triangulate.
Okay, so keep in mind that the psychic space is not virtual reality. It is sort of this amorphous kind of like in Stranger Things when Elle is at the very first season when she's in the black space. So it's kind of like that, and inside that black space, things manifest. So. But they manifest depending on whether you are psychically inclined or not. They manifest to a greater or lesser clarity. But they will still only manifest, like even Ma'ak. So for the rest of you, when you see Ma'ak talking to you inside this space, you see sort of this glowing transcendent entity that has the shape of Ma'ak. But it's kind of fuzzy around the edges. As he moves, things sort of kind of blend and blur together and separate in kind of these psychedelic ways. The rest of you, like when you look at anyone else in the group, all you see is just an orb floating there. So especially for like an actual terrain, it's going to be very rudimentary in terms of like this glowing place, this kind of hazy dream of a trail that's glowing maybe kind of blue and kind of turns is kind of where I remember the trap being. And this orb of light that you see here is kind of where I remember the trap being.
Okay, so in theory, Geza spotting, Bap kind of confirming what's being spotted, and then Ma'ak sort of going to that location and then sharing sort of his more clarified experience, in theory, could at least get us to like, hey, don't step any farther than you've gone, and then I can direct Desi to like, okay, here's where you want to start looking for the edge of the trap to see if it can be. I don't know if we want to trip them or disarm them, or can we lock them in place so they won't fall? I don't know.
It's a false floor then, right? It's just a false floor that if you step on it, you fall in. That's what this pit is. Am I correct?
You do know that that's what it is.
So this isn't something that we can disarm. We just have to walk around it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. If we can identify where the danger areas are, we'll do it that way, right? So, I don't know, Aaron. What do we need to roll?
So it's going to be investigation, but you're going to have advantage on these checks because BAP is instructing you as you go up.
All right.
But you need to give me. That? Okay, so hold on. Before we even start this, you're waiting for the right moment. So you have been told by BAP that the changing of the guard happens at dawn. So whoever is leading this foray needs to give me an insight check into determining exactly the right moment to make the ascent.
Even though I know exactly when dawn is?
Well, you know exactly when dawn is, but it could. It's fine. They could start to switch guard early. Okay. They could be a little late. There could be stragglers. So yeah.
Is that me you want to roll, or
you're the one communicating with BAP?
Yeah. All right, that's fair.
Before I launch into the air, or before we start walking at all?
This is basically Ma'ak is the one saying, hold.
Is anyone else proficient in insight? Because
I am proficient in insight. Yes.
I mean, can we have
now? This is what we're going to do. I'll actually start this with BAP. So BAP, give me an insight check first to see if there's any indication that you can discern down within the caverns that might suggest the changing of the guard is actually happening.
Okay, so let's see. How do I'm on my abilities, and this is the first time I've rolled in a skill and not a.
So yeah, just double click on your the little tiny 20-sider next to insight.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the plus number, and then there's the dice right next to the plus.
Is that?
Yeah, or you can click and drag it over to the log.
Nice.
Oh.
So that's a 21. I rolled an 18.
Yeah.
But it's a 21 total.
Nice, nice.
So actually there is, as you are escorting Chance into the brood chamber, one of the Yuan-Ti that it's actually a pureblood, and unfortunately the purebloods do not speak common. They gibbered each other in the serpentine language of the Yuan-Ti, which you have no idea what that is even called. Start to yammer to each other. Another pure blood wanders up and starts to converse with the two that are next to you, and then one of them leaves, and you're quite certain that this is all in reference to the changing of the guard and the ritual, the spiritual religious ritual that goes along with that moment. And you can tell that the Yuan-Ti that is left with you, that is helping you to escort Chance into the room, is very anxious that it or they are not able to participate in the ritual that happens every day, because you're in the middle of getting ready to connect Chance to the brood mother or the brood queen. So so you're 85% positive that the change of the guard is getting ready to happen right now.
Mark, it's time. It's
Okay.
I can't be certain, but this is as certain as I think I'll ever be.
All right.
With that, you now get an advantage, because there is going to be some delay on exactly how long it's going to take them to vacate the hill. The
Sure
mesa.
thing. All right. So this is now where I'm rolling insight at advantage, you said?
Yes. Yes.
Alrighty. Here we go. Well, I appreciate the advantage. Hail Mary. Oh, nice. I roll a nat 20. So
Oh!
3.
Huzzah!
That was not. That was the roll the nail, right?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And not only that, it was the advantage roll. It was the second roll that you got the 20 on. I mean, you rolled really good on the first one. That was an 18. So, okay. So yeah, you faintly hear above you this, like, a sound that cannot be made by just a non-intelligent creature. Something intelligent up there is making a sound, and then you hear a response to it, and you then faintly hear the sound of, like, clinking, like like people moving, and they're moving up away from you, and it's happening. Change of guard is happening.
All right. We start to move, and we'll do our best to identify the first pit trap at the initial switchback.
Okay, so everybody go ahead. Let's do some new initiative. So everybody go into your character sheets and roll me some new initiative rolls.
Do I need to roll initiative, or am I?
Yeah, you go ahead and do that.
Got the 10.
Because you're going to be communicating
Okay.
psychically, so you'll still be in that order. Okay. Okie doke.
I didn't mean to roll 3 times, but I'll take the last one.
But also,
Wait,
Char,
your
those
first
were
one was
intelligence checks, not.
they were intelligence checks. So you didn't actually do
Oh.
anything.
Good. Where is intuition?
On
Oh,
your
it's
main sheet, it
initiative.
says
That's
INT.
center.
It says INIT, init.
There is enough room on that page to spell the word initiative. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, there's more than enough room.
Yeah, the center of the main.
Oh, okay. So that 13 shield plus 2 thing?
To the right of the shield.
Yeah, to the right of the shield.
Yeah, right directly underneath where it says knit. There you go. Oh, and it's just the worst. A 5. Okay. Bap, it is your turn first. And inside the cavern, you are basically you're helping to escort Chance through this tunnel that leads into the brood chamber. And as you do so, it's you and a pureblood. And just so you have this image in your mind, the majority of the Yuan-Ti are sort of like a hybrid cross between probably a human or elf and something serpentine. And most of the Yuan-Ti here are of the type who have humanoid bodies and snake heads. The purebloods, however, are a purely serpentine creature. They are bipedal, and they, do have 2 hands, but they have a very long neck and a much more, I guess you could say, primitive serpentine head. And their body is there is no sort of humanoid type flesh or skin. They are completely covered in scales. They tend to have sort of a hunched back, long, slender limbs that terminate in these massive hands with very long fingers that are oftentimes up to 8 inches long, with like long claws. And then they have an actual tail that comes down from their back. And they walk sort of up on these, I'm not exactly sure what the term is, but legs, sort of like the hind legs of any quadrupedal animal. And they walk sort of hunched. If they were to actually stand up full height, they'd be well over 7 feet, but because of the way that they kind of walk hunched and their bodies are so slender, they usually stand maybe 5.5 feet tall or so. And they are utterly unnerving to be around because of how alien they are from your experience. And they always seem to be eyeing you as if you're food and prey. So it's just you and this pureblood left alone, and it makes you extra nervous because you know that the purebloods will, given the chance, eat the slaves. And it's happened before. You find their half-eaten bodies through the caves now and then. So it's you and the pureblood and Chance. And Chance, one of the things that they do, they get injected with a venom from the hunter silkworms, which makes them more docile. And then in order to maintain that until the victims are ready to be connected to the brood mother, they are continued. They continue to be injected with this venom that keeps the victims in a state of sort of somnambulance. They're kind of there. And so the whole time as you're walking through, Chance is like, are we going to the market? I think I got some stuff I gotta sell. I gotta be careful though, in case that Hadid is there, because I owe him money. Hadid's not gonna be there, is he? Hadid's not gonna be there, right?
So I'm not going to say anything to him because I don't want to draw any attention to myself. I guess I'm going to continue along and, movement-wise, but hold an action that if I feel like either I'm going to be attacked or and eaten primarily, or they're going to do something bad to Chance, I'm going to be ready to attack with one of my spells.
Okay. No, the pure blood is anxious, but probably more so because it is missing this dawn ritual that they normally observe. So it seems to be distracted at the moment, and long enough for you to get into the brood chamber. And as you do so, I'll save the description of this until everybody else arrives. But you enter into the brood chamber, and you begin the process of connecting chants. And it's going to take quite a few rounds before you even get to the point where he's actually connected. So right now you're just stepping down into the thigh deep water. Before you are the 150 or so other victims currently connected within this. Back outside. So you start to head up. We are going to begin with Geza Akos.
Well, I guess I'm going to go 50 feet at a time, out and up, looking for what BAP has described and do a memory callback like we discussed.
Okay, so you can, from where you are right now, you can because each one of these squares is 5 feet. You can get right up here to your line of sight, that very tip of that promontory, where it first starts to turn to the left.
And what sort of role would you like?
Well, I'll go ahead and move you so you don't have to ask for permission.
Yeah.
There you are, perched up there. So that you know that you're now able to see the first switchback. And somewhere in that area where the switchback kind of opens up, that's where the first pit trap is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You fly up there, you land. Desi, it's your turn.
And I can't do whatever kind of check.
Well, you can do an action, but what was your action would be?
Yeah, was it like investigation? Is that what you wanted me to do for like looking?
Are you actually trying to spot exactly where the trap is?
BAP described each of them, and I'm trying to see something that looks similar and then send that back as like a shared memory, psychedelic line art thing. Okay. You know where to look, the general area, but you're not going to get advantage because of how well these are hidden. So just go ahead and give me a standard investigation check. Alrighty. Hey, that was almost a really bad natural one, but became a 19 instead for a total of 22 adjusted.
Okay, so you are pretty sure that based on BAP's information and what you can see right now, that the trap must be right in the inside corner of that turn. So if you're going to circumvent it, everyone needs to hug the outside rim of the trail.
So I'll repeat that to the mind space of Geza and Desi.
Yeah, this does mean, however, that once you approach that space, everyone is going to need to be moving at half speed. Having said that, Desi, it's your turn.
Well, if I properly received this correspondence from Geza, which I like to believe I do, I will move at half speed, hugging the wall.
Yeah, so until you actually get up to the mouth of that, to the edge of that switchback, you can still move at full speed. Are you in Fantasy Grounds? Are you able to see what we're all seeing? Emelie?
I'm there. I don't see. I'm there. I don't see the.
But you're in Fantasy. You have the map open, and you see that.
we because we had to log back in. We don't have the map anymore.
Okay, let me share that again. Okay, you can see it now.
Yes.
Can you guys can all see it now?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, my
so-
Fantasy Grounds is not responding.
Alternately, it's on the Twitch stream if you're watching that.
Yeah, if you want to watch this Twitch
There it
stream. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so go ahead and just grab your character and move it because you can move at 30 foot. So go ahead and move it to where you want. It should give you the little measurement arrow as you move, and then I'll get to approve your movement.
Okay, so wait. So how many blocks do I get to move?
So just click and grab your character, and move
Done.
it up, and your character can move 30 feet. So go ahead and just grab it and move it where you want to go, and then I should be the one who gets to okay your movement. So you went 5, 10, 15. You should be able to go a little bit further. You should be able to actually get up to right next to where Geza is.
But you don't want to be. You want to be on the outside, not the inside, right?
Well, and remember that the trap is up here at the switchback, not at the mouth.
Okay.
15, 20, 30. So like thereabouts.
Are you not
So-
getting an arrow? Like with a little measurement on it? That's crazy. Like
I am
you just got to move your character willy-nilly without me doing anything. I don't know why that is, but whatever. Okay. So great. Ma'ak, it's your turn.
Okay. Well, then I will basically be walking right beside Desi, and because my speed is a little faster, he will basically come up and poke his head around the corner of the switchback to see if he sees anything there, or if he can identify what Geza has identified as the edge of the pit trap.
Okay. And you again, remember, you're not even close to that yet because you have not yet gotten up to the first switchback.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I know time is of the essence, so since we're not taking actions, can Desi and I both take the dash action and double
You could
move?
absolutely take the dash action and move twice your speed.
I mean, Geza didn't see. I mean, we're trusting that the changing of the guard means that we can ascend this without being spotted. So we're gonna roll those dice, so to speak. Let's see. I was here 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75. I can get to here.
Okay.
Right.
So you're at the mouth of the switchback now.
Okay, great. Then I will.
And so,
stop there.
Desi, Emelie, I'm going to go ahead. Are you cool taking the dash action as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's just go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And really, you could probably get to about there. Why it's not doing the... I don't know.
It's the Wild Wild West.
Yeah. I don't know. Any rate, okay. So both of you use your Crowcus. It's now your turn.
I will take the dash action and get to Desi.
Yeah, go ahead and put yourself right in the middle of that square. And we're now at Char.
Oh, if he can't move that quickly, I would have picked him up.
Oh,
I would have foisted him.
Char, do you consent to being picked up by a big burly giant man?
Options are limited out here, so sure.
Okay, so
you clown shoes.
yeah. So right now you're cradled by Crowcus.
Come with me.
I think that's going to be some slash fiction, cradled by Crowcus.
Cradled by Crowcus.
Oh, that's so funny.
Now we're back to Bap. I assume that Bap is probably just going about his business as usual.
Yes.
Or do you want to do something that can undermine the connection, the connecting of Krauka? Because as you enter into the Queen's Brood Chamber, it's just you and the pureblood. The others have left the chamber and gone to conduct their dawn ritual.
So when you say undermine, you mean chance or
Chance.
The
Yeah.
pureblood. It's you, the pureblood, Yanti, and Chance. And right now you are tasked with connecting him. You're escorting him down into the pool, which think of this pool as a combination of mineral water, so it has a very strong rotten egg smell. But it also is kind of thick and gelatinous because there is some sort of embryonic fluid that is dissolved through the liquid from the brood queen. That is part of what it's some kind of fluid that is excreted by the brood queen that is part of this entire process.
So, I mean, how long do I figure it's going to take? You
think that once you have maybe a minute before Chance gets connected, because really all that's required is that you find an appropriate place to situate him, which tend to be like there are these blossoms of cilia, of filaments from the brood queen that grow up in clusters from the bottom of the pool, which, like I said, is only like 2 or 3 feet, like 3 or 4 feet deep. And these blossoms are where you place an individual. Depending on the age and the size and the health of the brood queen determines exactly how many individuals it can infiltrate at any given time. So you're right now kind of capped out at about 125 or so. And so you just need to, there's probably about 15 of these blossoms of cilia, of thread, vacant currently for you to place Chance. So theoretically, you could stall by trying to decide which one is exactly the right one. You could also try to just like straight up attack the pureblood. The brood queen itself is very kind of oblivious to the outside world in this space. So it's up to you kind of how you want to proceed, or you could just go about your business and just connect him.
Well, so what's the point of no return once he's connected? Is it just instantly once he's connected he's going to die, or
no? Once he's connected, you have about an hour before he can no longer be disconnected and still survive. But even during that hour, just from experience, because sometimes like hosts are rejected, and that usually happens within the first hour. The longer that they have been connected during the hour, the less of themselves that they have left. Oftentimes they will come out insane. They will come out catatonic. They will still alive, but catatonic. They can come out with horrible maladies. I mean, you guys don't have language for this, but things like kidney failure, organ failure can happen. Basically, like they just die within a few days for some reason. But the longer they're connected within that first hour, the lower the chances get that they will survive as they were.
So I'm gonna So, and how closely is the pureblood paying attention to what I'm doing?
The pureblood, it's always hard to tell. Give me an insight check. Ooh, man, you're rolling good. So you definitely know that the pureblood is distracted because it is the
You
purebloods
rolled the 22.
tend to
Yes,
I rolled 22.
yeah.
The purebloods tend to be the most I guess you could say fanatically religious of the Yuan-Ti. They tend to be the most superstitious, the most jumpy and edgy. And so when because the pureblood is currently not able to participate in the ritual of the Dawn Destroyer, as you've come to learn, is what they kind of term it in their own language. Because this pureblood is not able to participate in the ritual of the Dawn Destroyer, you can tell that it's very fidgety and distracted. So you probably have a good chance of, if you want to do something, doing it.
I would just say I'm gonna connect. Like, there are multiple cilia that connect, right? It's not just one plug.
Yeah.
So
It's a, like I said, it's a blossom, so it's hard to count. It could be anywhere from like several dozen to over 100 of these cords that come up. Now, granted, when you place a person inside one of these blossoms, they call the Yuan-Ti call them their flowers. When you place someone inside one of the flowers, those cilia always kind of link up. Some of them actually restrain the individual, holding them in place, but the majority of them consolidate into a single thread that burrows in through the back of the neck.
So I'm gonna like maybe connect like one, and then just be really like, I'm gonna pretend I'm being really deliberate and careful, but really I'm stalling. If that makes sense.
Okay. So give me a sleight of hand check.
Yeah, well, all those good rolls. Luck's gotta run out sometime.
That's
So 15,
decent.
16 total.
Okay, 16. So really, typically you don't have to do much. Once you place somebody inside one of these blossoms, the brood queen does the rest. You can facilitate, typically, the way that you connect the individual. And it's kind of gotten down to a bit of an art form. Not a science, but an art form of how to do it, because if you connect it just right, if you can funnel more of the cilia into the neck and leave just enough of the rest for restraint, you can harvest quicker. So what you do is you reverse that. And so the process does begin to slow down, not as much as you were hoping for, but you might get maybe just a few minutes more, you think, out of this process, which could be enough to save this man's life. Now, having said that, okay, so Bap, Geza, Akos.
I will fly to my next perch to look for the next pit trap.
Okay, so where do you want to go?
I assume something like this.
Okay, so now you can see the full switchback that leads up to the second switchback. And you know that just below you somewhere, perhaps off to your right, is probably where the second pit trap is. Give me an investigation check. Oh,
less good.
Unfortunately, the ground here is so uneven and so filled with debris. This is the thing that you start to realize. As the further you get up this hill, the more that you can see that all of the filthy fucking refuse of the Yuan-Ti, this is where they throw it. All of their waste, all of their detritus. There's bones. There are rotting human bodies. Well, not just human. Elves, half-elves, humans, moles, even a few half-giants in several states of decay. Now, granted, we're out in the unvarnished baking sun of Athos. Granted, it's still morning, so it hasn't risen to that point yet. But you know that during the day, there's not a moment's respite from the sun on this trail. So what you're witnessing are the slowly desiccating mummifying corpses of these individuals, and you can see them in various states of desiccation. You know that in the Athasian desert, it doesn't take long, really only a few days, to completely, utterly desiccate a corpse. And so you see some that are utterly mummified already, and the skin is already broken away. The muscle tissue has shriveled completely away, and the white bleached bones here and there are already starting to show. But you can see that as you go further and further up this switchback, you will be wading through more and more of the cast-off dead of the Yuan-Ti. All of them transfixed with a gaze of absolute horror and pain. No matter whether they're fresh, because there are some fresh bodies probably deposited here just this past afternoon or evening, still bloating, turning green, and those are the ones that truly give you pause, because you can see their mouths locked open in expressions of absolute horror. Some of them are lying face down, and you can see a livid red hole, like a puckered mouth, on the back of their heads. Some of them, the flesh around this hole is actually torn away, and you can see rope burns, what kind of appear to be rope burns on the flesh around this area at the base of their head and at the height of their spine. And it's awful. It's awful to behold. And you know, like, you're the only one seeing it now, and you look back down to the group and realize that they're all going to have to traverse up through this field of death. So, anything else you want to do in this moment? Any other actions that you have that you might be able to use?
Do we know, Bap, what's at the bottom of these pits? Are there spikes, or are they just like
Tigers.
Do you know how deep it is? Or is it more than 20 feet? Any information you give could be helpful.
And who all is connected psychically right now? Rob?
Right now, Geza, Bap, and I are the only ones psychically connected. Desi speaks Thrycreen, so she and I can converse without.
She was dropped from the three-way phone call.
Yeah, sadly, I had to conserve my side points today. I couldn't stretch myself too thin and have everybody all at a concert at once.
Now, Bap, give me a. Here, hold on a second. Let me look at a character sheet. Give me a. Give me an investigation check. Oh,
Ouch.
That was a nat
rolled a
one.
natural one, but a 5 total.
as far as you, I should have had you do that into the dice. I need to remember that there's this dice tower that exists where you can roll and not see what your result is. Having said that, too late. As far as you're concerned, if you fall into one of the pit traps, it's not really much of an issue other than gross factor, because that's where they oftentimes throw bodies from the brood queen chamber. So if you fell down into one, you just fall into a pit of desiccating, rotting corpses.
But do you know the depth approximate?
As far as you know, it's not very deep.
Great. Is there any danger with us tripping them ahead of time? Wouldn't they be easier to avoid if we could actually see the perimeter of each of the traps?
I mean, like even the rolling of critical fail aside, you know that they are standard pit traps. You just have to not step on them.
Right. So the one that we moved around, when you like where you're at, Ma'ak, I don't know if you can even see the one that's at your feet. Can you see the perimeter that you're avoiding?
Well, we're not at Ma'ak yet, so
Yeah,
you'll
it's not
have
my
to
turn.
kind of hold that for just a second. But Desi is coming just up behind. So Desi, what are you doing?
Well, and I'll just say I can't spot the second one. It's hidden too good.
All right. Well, we're coming.
I would say that I'm well aware that not that I'm walking and that I'm not getting any information, and that is making me become hyper vigilant. I would like to even in going slowly. I'm no longer double speed.
Mm-hmm.
I would like. Can I do a? What was I going to do? Investigation. I'm imagining, like, if there is a very long femur that I can get hold of to sort of tap like a blind man, in case there are hidden traps before me.
Now, on this side of this first switchback, there are no body parts or bones. And in terms of plant life, like maybe twigs or anything, I guess give me that investigation check.
Okay.
Oh, 19. So yeah, you can
Oh,
actually.
good. 'Cause
You
I
do
can't see what I rolled. My
Oh yeah.
my
You do see that
fantasy
just
growth
off
is just
the.
like half work.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. So just off the south side of the trail downhill. Now it's kind of like right at the edge of what you think is safe travel, like safe footing, because the hill is very steep, and the ground itself is sort of this pumice stone that is very like very skittish underfoot. But you can see just about 15 feet off trail, there is some sort of, well, in our world, we would call an actio bush. It's this kind of cacti that grows in long strands, long thin, maybe about an inch in diameter strands, and it grows to about 8 feet tall. This is obviously a dead actio that's lying across the ground, and you can just see it, and it looks like there might be a length of actio stem, blackened and charred by the Athasian sun, that you might be able to pick up and use as a little prodding stick. It's going to be a little bit of a treacherous, like you got to be careful getting out to it though. So if you want to pursue that, give me a either acrobatics or athletics check. And you will be moving through difficult terrain. So you'll be moving at half
Would it-
speed.
Would it be too late to delay until after Ma'ak?
You can hold your action for sure.
Okay, I'm going to look at Ma'ak with a expectant face. Saying, well, what does he say? What does he say?
Yes. Well, Ma'ak will turn. I imagine like when it's the two of us and we don't have to use telepathy. It's almost like a Han Solo and Chewbacca kind of thing, where like I speak in Thri-Kreen and you speak in Common, and just we're the only ones who kind of understand each other.
I like the idea though that you're the Han Solo who imagines Desi as the Chewbacca, and
I don't know, maybe.
but then Desi is the Han Solo who imagines you as the Chewbacca,
Right.
Which is probably the way it is. Like Chewbacca
The
probably
outsider.
imagines Han as the Chewbacca,
Right.
So it's always like.
But anyway, so Ma'ak will turn to you in a bunch of clicks and pops and whirs. We'll say, Geza can't find the second trap. Do you want me to trip the first one?
Did we not all successfully navigate the first one?
Well, you're not
Oh,
up
I see
around
what
it.
you're
I mean, but here's the thing. As far as Geza has told you, all you have to do is hug the outside rim of the switchback, and you should be able to avoid the pit trap.
The wall on
It's
your
the
right.
Yeah, it's the outside turn, not the inside corner. The outside corner.
Oh, it's the outside corner. I thought it was the reverse.
No. You want to hug the outside corner because the trap is on the inside corner, according to
All right.
BAP.
That is a better place to put the trap.
It is a better place.
Because we haven't traversed it yet. Right. So
It's the second one that you're going to have to worry about, because that could be anywhere, and Geza can't identify where it could possibly be. Somewhere in the middle, but it could be along either side. It could be in the middle. It could cross the entire span.
So we just have to pass the first trap, and we are and get all four of us past the first trap. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
For now.
The action of the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
So-
like, just so you know, because you're all talking, I'm counting each of your rounds as 3 rounds right now. Because of the talking, because of the planning. So
All right.
keep that in
well,
mind. Keep that in mind.
Then Ma'ak will just say, "Step where I step," and since I'm faster, I'll go
Well,
first. Is that all right, or do you want to go first?
I want. No, because you are in contact with Geza and Bap. I do believe you should go first
All right.
for
then I
this
will do
whole
that.
trajectory.
All right. I will take the advice of all of my fellows. I will hug the wall along the outside corner, and I will do my best to not fall into any traps. If I am at anywhere unsure where to step, my Githka strikes it first.
Okay. Well, you do make it up to the very far point of the turn without falling into anything. And we can go back. Desi, does that mean that you want to forego trying to get that Actio staff and just follow Ma'ak?
That is what I would like to do, please. Yes.
Okay, so are you going to continue to move at normal speed, or are you going to dash to try to catch up to him?
I didn't dash. I'm moving normal speed, so I'm only maybe 10 feet ahead of you.
So let's go your regular speed, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's where you can get right now. You can also dash and get right up behind Ma'ak if you so choose.
If I dash,
If you dash.
I'm going to dash.
Okay. So then the last few steps is like just the balls of your feet. Boop, 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 boop. And as you do so, you don't fall into anything, surprisingly. Now, having said that, that's the end of your turn, and it's now Krakus's turn.
So
You're all alone, Krakus, down here at the mouth of this, and you're getting very, very
All alone.
anxious
He's
about
holding
that.
me.
yes.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you are holding Cha'ar like a little baby,
And I'm sucking.
Control
So I'm going to follow.
I mean, I just love the idea. If we have any fans out there at all right now who like to do fan art, I would love to see a drawing of Crocus cradling Char, like a little baby boy. But right now, as you cradle Char like a little baby boy, what do?
I'm following in Desi's footsteps.
Are you going to dash?
To keep, yeah, I'm going to dash to try to keep up, right? Because
Okay,
Desi,
now wait, hold on. Give me a wisdom save.
a wisdom save.
Yep, wisdom save.
Okay, hold on.
Uh-oh.
We're doomed.
I mean, like, I'm not setting the difficulty very high on this at all.
I'm not very good at wisdom
being said-
because I have a -3.
That being
I have a
said,
-3.
you
I
did
still got a
roll
15.
So yes, you do just charge the fuck up the hill. I mean, the rest of you get really anxious because as Crocus runs up the hill, his gigantic feet under his 1,200-pound frame pound against the ground, causing sediment to skid down the hillside. But no, he does not fall into a pit. He maintains hold on Cha'ar, and he gets right up behind you guys.
That's not an axe.
And I kind of want to know, like, I kind of feel like Crocus feels really proud in this moment. What would Crocus do, having managed this maneuver without incident?
This is nothing for Crocus. I am a delicate, I am smart, I can conquer anything I put before myself. Right? Desi?
Okay.
That's my boy.
Yes, I am your boy.
Okay, Char, is there anything that you want to do as you just barrel up this hillside in the arms of Crocus?
When he gets to the top, I just want him to go, ho, 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 big giant.
Okay, so now at the first switchback, I'm going to call a bio break. Let's make this a sharp hard 5.
A sharp hard 5.
A sharp hard 5.
Okay, I'll put up the we'll be right back.
We are back. Okay, so Char, was there anything that you were going to do while you were being bounced up the hill in the arms of Crocus?
Is there anything I need to do?
Enjoy the ride.
Not that
baby.
you. I mean, it's only what you want to do. There's nothing you ever need to do in Dungeons and
But I
Dragons.
mean, for the group, is there something that I could be doing?
Just
Could I be making a
enjoying the
grocery
ride,
list
big
or
dog.
something?
Yeah.
I would say, like, you don't really have a good opportunity right now to converse with the rest of the group, and Crocus might be not the best person to strategize with. So maybe
Yeah, well, then
we
I'll just rest and
move.
conserve my energy for when you need me.
Okay, so we're back to you, Bat.
Well,
I mean, do dwarves have stone sense? Sorry, do dwarves have stone sense?
No. In
Would
Athos,
Char have any
no.
indication of? No. Okay. Yeah.
My stones are pretty sensitive right now, though.
Hey.
Walked into that one, didn't I?
That's what Crocus said.
What are
Oh,
these little
okay.
lumps here?
Bat, we're back down in the brood chamber of the Silkworm Queen. You are beginning to you're moving Chance towards the blossom that you've chosen. Is there anything specific you'd like me to know before we move on?
I just want to continue to basically stall while look like I'm being really diligent and careful.
Okay, so give me a sleight of hand.
Okay, you just wanted to keep roll till I did get a 1 last time. So, okay. Let's see. Okay. I'll put it in the dice tower this time. There we go.
Ooh,
Desi
dice
needs
tower.
to be able to see someone to give them inspiration, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, and you rolled that into the dice tower?
I did. Now I can't see
Oh,
what I
yeah.
rolled. So
Good. I like that. I like
announce
that
it.
a lot. And as you're doing so, you're trying to stall and move, and as you do so, the pureblood begins to prod you. And he shoves you forward, obviously picking up on the fact that you're dragging your feet. He doesn't attack you, he just shoves you forward. Give me a dex save, and I'll do the same thing for Chance, because you're holding on to him. Chance holds his footing, because you end up letting go. But give me your dex save.
it's in the tower.
You do end up as the pureblood pushes you. You lose grip on Chance, who just kind of stumbles a couple steps forward through the water, but you actually go down into the water, and then have to pick yourself up. And the pureblood is not happy at all. He lashes out at you with just his claw. Give me a second. What's your AC?
My where is
Actually, you know what, I can.
it's 11.
11. Oh, yeah. He lashes out. He hits you on the shoulder, but it kind of glances off of, just glances off, not doing any damage. But you can feel the impact, and you know, like this dude's not fucking around.
So I can communicate telepathically, right, or psionically, without the one to hearing me. So I'm gonna let. So here, I'll just talk to Mark. Mark, like I tried to stall for your friend, but the one to are not. They're not stupid. They're watching me. You can probably. I would assume could he just sense my pain, or
I mean,
If you
in
choose to
your
share
psychic.
it, if you can share it as a bonus
yeah,
action.
then I would share that, and I would see. You can see that. You can see this. It's not just words. So, I can't. Your friend has maybe an hour. If I hook him up, I can't delay anymore. You're going to have to decide whether you wish to be cautious or whether you wish to save your friend. If I were you, I'd push that half giant into the spike pit and come and get your friend.
I am considering your advice very gravely, but that is not the way of the Kreen. We are coming for you. You will see us inside the hour. And in the same, since I guess it's my round or something like that.
No. It's Geza.
It's Geza? Okay.
It's Geza's turn, but you
Geza-
have this open communication though.
Geza is involved in this communication, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the other end of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so Chance finds himself in this situation based on his own choices. He's no friend to us, though if we can save him, we will. You shouldn't put yourself in harm's way on his behalf. We'll be there when we can.
I like this one.
Do the minimum.
Okay.
Do the minimum effort to satisfy the Yanti, and we will see you soon.
At this point, you're a better friend to us than Chance.
Okay, so Geza, what's your action then?
I'm going to go down to the floor and
So you're going to go down to the trail, like
go down
here?
to the trail, and I'm going to walk in the center of the path until I start to fall.
Okay. Well, you fall.
So the moment that I start to fall, I cast Feather Fall on myself.
Okay.
And I would like to try to fly out of it or grab the side, whichever is more easily accomplished.
Okay, because you immediately have Featherfall ready to go. As you start to float down, it's not shallow. It's probably about 12 feet or more deep. And at the bottom, there certainly are bodies. And of course, as you step, bodies that are here in the area fall down into the pit. There are spikes spaced about 6 inches apart that are probably about 2 to 3 feet long, variable. Down at the bottom, give me an acrobatics check. Oh my God.
Well, it was a natural 1, adjusted 5.
Okay, so basically what happens is that you drop down and you are sure that you have more than one step to go before you can possibly find the edge of this pit. And sure enough, it is not. It is exactly one step and you fall and you're caught completely off guard. We're going to have to do this. Hold on just a second. Wait just a second. You take 5 points of damage as you fall and actually impact a couple of the spikes before you're able to catch yourself. And your wing is like you fall to the absolute edge of the pit. Most of the spikes are in the center, so when you fall and hit the bottom, your wing falls open and that gets impaled by several spikes. One of them actually goes through some real meat. The other 2 go through like the membrane of your wing where the feathers are held. But you hear immediately, you guys back in the crook of the switchback, see Geza, a light upon the trail ahead of you, step one step forward and just disappear. And then you hear a squawk. And it's Desi's turn.
I delay after Marc. Do I not?
We never said that.
You can,
but I guess
you only delay turn to turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we can't adjust our initiative order.
Well, I mean, you can always delay your action, but you're in the same initiative order. So if Desi doesn't want to act at this point, you can always.
Oh, I see. If she chooses, she could always act before.
Yeah.
Me. All right. That
but
makes sense.
If you want to delay your action, you have to give me the parameters of your delay. Like, what are you delaying for, and what is the trigger that is going to activate your action?
Right. Well, I would have delayed to hear what news Marc had from Geza. There's no need for that. So I reckon what I'll do. I remember you saying that when Geza was looking at this stretch of the path, there were a lot of corpses, and or anything.
Oh,
is there anything in this stretch of the path where I
as
can
you
get
look up
like
the
a length of
as you
bone
look up
or,
the hill? As you look up the hill, you see like it is a field of dead bodies in various states of desiccation. And like I said, there are the bones of half giants, which the femur, the like the arm bones and the leg bones of a half giant are between 3 to 6 feet long.
So I want to find an half giant bone of about 6 feet long, if I may, and run up to where I saw Geza fall, and then stop before I too fall.
I mean, the pit trap is open at this point. Yeah, the pit trap is open at this point, so you don't have to worry about that. Just give me an investigation check with advantage.
All right. this big old map into the investigation. Okay. Ooh.
Oh, well, that's enough for an easy, and this wasn't easy.
Phew.
So you are able to find a bone. It's a little heavy. It's a femur. So you do have to give me a strength check to lift it, but it's the one that you find.
It is not my greatest. Let's see.
I mean, this is also not going to be a huge difficulty. Oh, yeah. No, you're able to lift it. A little grunting as you lift it and kind of drag it actually across the ground and then swing it out to your side over the edge down. But it is a full femur. So it is at least 6 feet long. And Geza, you probably will be able to reach up if you can pull your wing free from the spikes. Next turn, you should be able to get to your feet and reach up and grab a hold of that femur. However, it's now Mock's turn.
Spikes are better than a tiger.
Okay, so where is Desi now?
She's
move?
all the way right up here.
Okay. Now, so if I move up behind, or even around, is that? Can I see? I can see the edge of the pit trap on all sides. Is it only 5 feet, or does it feel like the whole?
It looks like it's about 5 feet. Like it. I mean, the trail here is only about 7 feet wide, but it's right smack dab in the middle of the trail.
Okay, but as a large insect creature, in theory, I could just straddle the hole.
Yeah, just give me an
pull.
athletics or an acrobatics check, and it's not going to be a high difficulty. But
I
you
will
should be
use the
able to
one
get
I'm-
past it.
Okay. Well, I'll use the one I'm proficient in, which is athletics. And
Yeah.
I roll a total of a 20, a dirty 20.
Yeah. Yeah, you basically crawl up the side of this canyon, and you can crawl around the rim of the pit.
Okay. Well, I want to reach down as I straddle it and basically pull Geza up off the spikes. I assume, like, he's suspended. He can't actually lift himself on his own power, so he needs help.
Well, yeah, right now he's trying to wrench his wing from the spikes.
Well, I would like to assist him wrenching himself free, I guess.
Okay, so next turn when we get back to Geza, he'll get advantage. I assume, what would you be using? Because even as a large creature, you can't reach 12 feet down because he's laying flat right now.
Oh, he fell to the bottom of the pit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's about, I mean, like, he's on top of bodies, so it's maybe like 10 feet, but it's still, I mean, it's more than you have reached. So, but if you have a Githka, that might be
I do.
a good...
I mean, I've been using it to test before I step anywhere. So
yeah,
I
so
can
your
lower
Githka, with your Githka and with Desi's femur, the two of you should be able to actually make it to the point where you probably don't even have to roll for Geza next turn to wrench yourself free. You just have to roll probably a con save to make sure you don't pass out from the pain, because this is Athos. Having said that, it's Crocus's turn.
Crocus will move forward. What happened?
I mean, you don't have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
wait. Did you get stuck?
Yes, but I then moved it. I'm going to see if maybe I can wrench out Geza.
Okay. Now, unfortunately, because of how narrow this path is, and where Desi and Ma'ak are, you can't actually get around them. So you kind of have to just stand there twiddling your thumbs until they do what you wanted, what they do, or you have to do something else. So what do you, as you rush up behind them, what do you say?
How deep is the hole? And I say that towering at near 11 feet with a wingspan of about 12 feet from fingertip to fingertip.
Yeah. So you guys, he's asking you guys. So everybody is completely silent as you walk up and you ask, how deep is the hole?
I growl. I growl menacingly. Is Geza okay?
Ma'ak
But you
tells
can...
Dry Crane how deep it is.
Okay. You can look over... You can easily look over them down into the hole and see that it's even deeper than your arm reach. Could grasp.
Can Crocus hold me, don't make the jokes, by the ankle and lower me down to reach?
Easily.
Is that too far beyond our reach?
No, he could, because Crocus can lift over 1,000 pounds.
Can lift
I wasn't being coy about my weight. I was wondering if the distance was enough to reach.
Oh,
yeah.
No, that maybe not your hand, but your foot. Maybe.
Oh yeah. I grab him by the ankle.
Feet, yeah.
I use him. I push Desi out of the way. I grab Jar by his ankle and I dangle him to grab Geza.
Wait. As Crocus sidles up next to you, Desi, and starts to crowd you up against the edge of this pit, and then he starts to put his hand down against your shoulder and shove you. What do you do?
Back, big man.
You're gonna have to try.
Remember,
to
she is your mentor right now.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a.
She's your guiding light.
Okay, all right.
What are you gonna roll?
Well, I was gonna say a wisdom check.
Don't roll.
But,
I think this is just a moment where you can choose your direction based on your character, what you know of your character.
Okay. Why should I wait? I can get him out now.
Remind me, what we were gonna get him out just with
things that you were reaching down into the hole with: a femur and a githka, a weapon and a femur.
and then
So-
Green can't shrug, but
I just have to
shrug.
pause. I have to
Step
pause.
back.
I want to pause this moment and remind everyone that Char is currently dangling from his ankles upside down while you have this discussion. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah. I'm using him as a sort of claw machine hook, and I'm like,
You're like, why?
I can get them out now. Why do I
And
wait?
Char's just like, ah.
I am waiting for you
It's
to
like
say
an
something.
inversion
Desi.
table, so this is helpful
Yeah.
for my back. So.
Yeah. You haven't felt this good in a
It's like
while.
American Gigolo. I'm hanging upside down.
Yeah.
It's like
I
Deuce
mean-
Bigelow, American Gigolo.
I kind of wonder what are the clothes that Char is wearing right now, because if it's the classical clerical
swaddled.
garb, there could be some unfortunate things dangling
Or
in
very,
everyone's face right
very
now.
fortunate.
Yeah. Are
Okay,
you a
If
rogue?
I'm grabbing my ankles, there ain't nothing that's dangling.
So, but are you wearing robes?
Idiot.
I
just want to get a clear picture of the visuals.
Oh, Mark can send you a picture later.
Pervert.
Char wears robes or close-fitting pants? What are we talking?
I mean, the Exarchs typically wear robes.
Yeah, robes, right?
I mean, it's not to say that you don't wear loose-fitting trousers as well, but I mean, you're a desert people. You wear loose-fitting garb that allows
Gotta let it
for
breathe.
allows for breath, allows for the wind to move through, evaporate the sweat, and cool your body. So yeah. I mean, okay, we're getting too deep in the weeds right now. So everybody, like, just give me the plan on how you want to get Geza Akos out of this pit so we can move
If I'm the smallest
up
person,
the hill.
why don't they at the very least tie a rope around me and lower me in there to help get him out of
You
there?
don't need a rope.
I am
He's
the
got
rope.
6-foot arms.
Yeah.
Is that long enough for me to reach you?
I am 12 feet tall.
It's long enough.
All right. Well,
Especially if he holds you by your ankle. Yeah.
Let's do that, and I can grab.
But then we're
Okay.
depending on your strength.
Sorry, what?
We're depending on your strength to hold Geza.
Well, it's not like it's a mile.
And Geza is not that heavy.
Is Geza unconscious, or is Geza?
Geza only
back?
weighs like 80 pounds, I
He's got
think.
hollow
I'm,
bones.
I'm
Can
very
we do
light.
it this way? Can we do it this way? Can we say that Geza sees 3 options and he gets to pick which one he reaches for?
Choose your own adventure, Geza.
Yeah, we should be asking Geza, as you lay there and you see this chaos happening above you. What do you say to the group as your wing is pinned upon these spikes?
So a Githka, a bone, and
A dwarf
Char's
walking to a bar.
arms are all reaching towards me.
I wonder what sounds the most appealing.
I'm gonna grab Char's arms and say,
That's not my arm, Geza.
thank
That's
you,
my
brother.
boom arm.
Thank you, brother. Thank you all. But I think an assisted. I appreciate the assistance, and I'll grab Char's arms.
Okay, just because we need to really move this along, I'm not going to make anybody roll. It's very simple. Desi and Ma'ak, you're able to. You just kind of move aside and you say, "Okay, fine." And
I was trying to.
Kraukus, you dip like you're dipping a fucking Dairy Queen cone. You dip.
I dip a
Char
dwarf,
down into
yeah.
the pit.
That's not what I thought you were going to say, Aaron.
without even a thought, you just dip that dwarf in the hole, and you're able to grab hold. And now all we need is for Geza Akos to give me a strength save to wrench your wing free from the spikes.
Okay. Natural 20.
Hey! Natural 20.
Booyah, booyah, booyah! Natural 20. Okay, so yeah, natural 20. Yeah, you grit your beak and you wrench it loose as you grab hold and pull up. And of course, Cha'ar, you were bracing for what you would expect to be the weight of a humanoid. And what comes loose is, I mean, not light, but I mean, shit. This, like, you're pulling a child up out of the pit.
I'm a
Geza
healthy
is
95 pounds.
Yes.
Those hollow bones.
So light.
Yeah. Her name is.
Okay. And having said that, with that group effort, we're going to just go right back over to Bap. You are now in the chamber, and the brood, the pure blood, is impatient as fuck. So what are you doing in terms of connecting Chance to the queen?
I am not messing around. I'm hooking him up. I mean, I'm not rushing, but I'm very carefully doing exactly what's expected of me.
And typically when you if you know, okay, this is what we're going to say, like, you know, on a typical day when you're being lashed, and that's what you're trying to be, what you're trying to avoid, it takes about 2 minutes to connect someone. You're trying with subterfuge to push that out to maybe 3 minutes. So give me another sleight of hand check.
Wait, though, I'm not, though. That's like after
Well,
getting
you said you're not rushing. And usually you have to rush. And when you rush, it takes about 2 minutes. If you go methodically the way you're supposed to, it takes about 3 minutes. Usually you rush simply to avoid the lash. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Rush, Bap, rush.
I'm okay. Putting it in a dice tower here. Let's see.
Oh my God. Well, there's no rushing, folks. We just rolled another 1. The pureblood is obviously on absolute edge, and at which point removes the lash, the whip that he normally carries, that they all normally carries, and lashes your back. And you are going to take 3 points of damage as he hits you. And now you know that you definitely have absolutely no moments to spare. You're going to have to probably take less time. So probably you have about a minute and a half before Chance gets connected, which equates to 9 rounds, 6 to 9 rounds. So you can relate that to the group however you want. So go ahead. What would you like to say?
The first thing I want to do
Mark and
is
Geza?
flash that pain over.
Yeah. At which point, in the psychic space of Geza and Ma'ak, suddenly the luminescent orb, which is Bap, shines deep black with a red center. And Ma'ak, you understand that to be imminent danger and threat.
And
all right.
And I just say, I have taken the lash for your friend for the last time. He's I've done what I can. You have a minute at most. You
have done more than enough.
Yes, and I'm going to need. You're going to need to risk injure yourself if you wish to save him.
Okay. So who wants to go first now? I'm going to give the group of you a chance to reorder basically your initiative. Your initiative order is going to stay the same, but you can choose to kind of hold actions and order yourself how you want. Who wants to rush up the hill?
Ma'ak is.
Okay.
Ma'ak is leaving all you fools behind. Taking care of business.
So that you know now that you only have one more trap. And you know that is at the very top of the hill, just outside the perimeter of the ruined tower itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I assume you're going to dash?
Yeah.
Ma'ak, my reaction time was bad, but my plan was not. I can cast Featherfall on you, and you can just spring the trap and not fall into the spikes if you're not foolishly slow like I was.
All right, I will. I will stay next to Geza. I am actually concerned about his injury, but I will accept your enchantment.
Yeah, Geza is bleeding mostly from actually where his arm is. The puncture wounds in the wing, which is actually the left wing. The puncture wounds in the wing are seeping, but not bad. It's the main meat of his arm, right in the forearm.
So he's not going to be able to fly.
Really
I can't take flight, but I'll be fine.
Yeah.
You might be poisoned.
You could take flight, but you would have to give me a acrobatics check every time now.
I won't take flight, but I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, if I hadn't rolled a natural 1, I would have cast Featherfall and it would have been fine. But I did.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, because generally casting time is reaction. So I can cast Featherfall on you as you're running away.
Okay. That's cool.
Okay, so
then I will
dash.
Give basic. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're gonna dash.
Yeah, I'll give Desi a nod, and then I will dash around that corner.
Okay.
And honestly, I don't even have to consult you. As you start to run away, I cast Featherfall on you because you have to be within 60 feet of me. So as you're running away, I say, I've cast Featherfall on you. Just trigger the trap. You'll be fine.
All right, then. And
70,
I will
75,
basically
80,
do that.
90. So that's 90 feet that you just ran. Which is a dash,
I could
right? You're 45 feet?
Run 80. I can run 80.
40 feet, not 45. So there you are.
Yeah. Okay. That's I haven't reached it yet, right? It's at the next switch. It's at
the last trap is not at the switch. It's actually at the very top.
Okay.
Near the tower itself is where you have to control yourself.
I hate to impose on you again, Bap, but can you please visualize for me as clearly as possible this trap so I know where to trigger it? And he can do that as a bonus action.
Okay.
So I will try, hopefully Matt be able to match his memory with what I'll see when I turn that corner.
And Bap, this is the trap you are most familiar with because you don't actually go up and down the switchback very often. It's more likely that you find yourself bringing the dead up to the top of the tower, because that's what you do. Like that's one of the things that you are tasked with doing is bringing the dead up to the top of the tower. So you know exactly where that pit is, and you probably you're confident enough that you can tell them, hopefully within their psychic space, exactly where it is, that they should be able to avoid it. Having said that, I'm going to go ahead and move all of you guys around this trap so that you're on the other side, and it is. Well, technically, it's Geza Akos' turn. You were holding your action, letting Ma'ak go first. Desi, you were holding your action, letting Ma'ak go first. So, Geza, do you want to do anything after Ma'ak just fucking flies up that fucking hill? Because, I mean, there's nothing like a outside an elf engaged in an elf run. There's nothing more spectacular than seeing a Thri-Kreen just fucking haul ass across the desert.
I'd like to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Well, go to.
At first level, so I'm crossing off first level, but then how do I
just click on that plus sign. Just click on the plus sign. Boom.
Hey,
you're healed.
So I'm more than all the way up. Yeah.
Nice.
For some reason, it didn't delete your wounds, though. So
I
I'll
didn't.
delete
I
those.
didn't target myself. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I deleted them. You're good. Okay. So you did that, Desi. What are you doing?
But that was my action, my movement. I'll just move my full action forward.
Are you going to fly up?
If my wing is fully healed, I'll fly up. Yeah.
Yeah, you are fully healed, so you can go. Well, go ahead and move yourself the 50 feet you want to move. Yeah.
Like there-ish.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you're good. And Desi, what are you doing? Are you just going to race up after Ma'ak?
That's the plan.
Okie doke. Let's do it. I'll move you for you. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Okay. And it is now Crocus's turn.
Crocus keeps pace and picks up his little dwarf ook and follows.
Okay. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And put you right there. And we're back to Bap. Okay, so you are now diligently connecting Chance to the Hive Queen. And you know that it's going to take you a few rounds, basically, to do this. Are you just going to perform your function, or do you want to do anything kind of sneaky during that time?
Oh no, I've learned my lesson.
Okay. Okay. Geza, we're back to you.
Technical question. I have pact spells. Are those things that I get to cast in addition to my regular number of level spells, or do they?
Your pact spells are spells that you always have memorized, but they do count towards your daily allotment of slots.
Okay, that was the question. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will take flight again.
Okay.
I don't see Ma'ak anywhere.
Well, he's down here below you, actually.
Yeah.
So, where is he?
You flew over my head, actually.
Yeah, he doesn't show up very well because he's...
Yeah, you should make me a large creature, actually, if you can.
Yeah, where?
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know why it's not.
And actually, you should probably make Crocus a large creature, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why
my token's like
either.
Like blue on white, so it doesn't really show up very well on this.
Hold on. 'Cause I know that there's a way to do that. There we go.
Nice.
Well, I think I'm going there, but
no, he's a giant creature.
I was trying to join Ma'ak. I don't know if that's where he is or not.
Okay. No. Mach is down here.
Okay, cool. That works.
And yeah, there we go. That's large. So.
Oh.
But no, you're they're down here still.
I was at Ma'ak.
No, you're already past them. So just keep going.
Yeah. So I'll fly up and see what I see from over here.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Okay.
And because Bap has such a clear view of where this trap is, I'll give you advantage on that.
Oh, I didn't do advantage. I'll just roll again.
Yeah, just roll again.
So,
well, it's good
15.
that you rolled advantage. So 15. You're pretty sure that it is. I'm trying to figure out how I tell you this. So where you are on the map, you're pretty sure that it's 2 squares up and 1 square right is exactly where the trap is.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Desi.
How did it get back to me so fast? My goodness.
Because there's been no encounters, so yeah.
But
you're pretty sure, like, as far as Geza and everybody else has told you, there are no traps between you and Geza, other than, just the difficult terrain. Well,
Yeah.
it's difficult terrain here and there because of all the bodies.
Then I see no reason to not recklessly book it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from here on out, the bodies are becoming way deeper. So up until this point, you've still been able to move at normal speed, but now the bodies are so deep on the trail that you're going to be moving at half speed. So if you dash, you will be able to move 30 feet.
Let's dash.
Okay. So you begin to wade your way 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Wade your way through the thigh-deep detritus of bodies of every shape and form you can imagine. Fresh bodies, desiccated bodies, mummified, still plump and bloated. The smell is horrifying. Ma'ak.
And Ma'ak, you have Featherfall for the next 5 rounds, FYI.
I thought it was a minute. Isn't Featherfall a minute?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, a minute, not.
Yeah,
not,
no, it's
not 6
fine.
rounds.
I'd actually like to hold on to it if I could. You never know.
Yeah.
But all right. So I'm gonna be, all right. So we're basically locked in now, at least for the time being. We haven't really changed meta concert, but Geza, myself, and Bap, I'm moving off Mind Link and moving to Sixth Sense, meaning when we roll initiative, I get advantage on that roll.
Okay.
So, and then otherwise I will be dashing, which I presume means I can get to like there, around the corner.
Yeah, at half speed. So you can go full 40 feet, your full speed, but that's dashing.
Yeah,
because you're
well, that was
half
40.
speed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
that,
so you're
that
good.
should be about 40. I'm about 10,
Okay.
10 feet ahead of Desi.
And Craucus. Now, Craucus, you are so powerful that you can disregard this. Because as you rush forward, the rippling thews of your massive fucking legs toss
Please
the
talk about
bones
my
of
legs.
the dead to the sides of the trail as if they were nothing but the cast off detritus of your own gladiatorial successes. So you can completely avoid this.
Popping
I
bodies
avoid
like
this.
water balloons.
I kick away the little stones. They are nothing.
So are you going to dash?
Oh yes, I dash.
Okay, so and as a half giant, are you still 30 feet, or do you have more movement than that?
I believe I have 35.
35.
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75. Is that right? 70. Sorry, 70. So there. Yeah, he just comes barreling past the rest of you. A cascade of bones and bodies scatter in his wake. As he continues to hold and jostle.
So he rushes past
Jar
me
in his
too?
arms. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, it actually might be...
I mean, he just gets right in front of you.
if I hear him coming,
yeah.
if I hear him, barreling up behind me or whatever, I will. Actually, it might be kind of cool to show this for the first time. As Craucus is about to run through Ma'ak's space, he jumps 20 feet straight up in the air over Craucus's head, and Craucus goes beneath him, and then he'll land behind him.
Yeah. That's cool.
And
That's cool.
in the doing, there's this insectoid pop as your joints clatter and snap in place, and you spring up like a cricket. And it's this crack that ripples across the morning dawn. Because in that moment, we're gonna say, like, let's just do some epic shit. In that moment, as Ma'ak snaps his joints and leaps straight into the air, the dawn shines directly over the hill. And in that moment, you see this six-legged mantoid warrior in the sky, silhouetted by the morning dawn. And then, boom, you land just as the giant 11.5-foot figure, 1,200-pound form of Craucus races underneath you. And this is the moment that Megadeth begins to play. And
anyone? Definitely this scene, right?
Having said that, it is now, if you're just fine being the cradled boy, but you can see ahead of you. You can see clearly ahead of you as you run forward, and Ma'ak leaps into the air with a snap. You can see the ruined silhouette of the tower ahead of you, maybe 30, 40, 50 feet, as the sun shines through its ruined arrow slits and glares into your eyes, and you know that you are nearly at your quarry. Is there anything that you do, or do you just lay back and enjoy the ride?
There's nothing pressing, so I think I'm just going to conserve my energy, and then when they need me.
Do you have
others
like
can
buff
rest.
spells or anything like that you could
I don't
cast?
know. I can't see my character sheet in the Fantasy Grounds thing.
Well,
I just have the map.
that makes sense.
I don't know if you probably don't have the same cantrips as I do. I have guidance. You might. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how to.
if
check.
you're content,
Aaron,
move forward.
can you access Mark's character sheet and just tell him what cantrips he has? Because those won't change.
why aren't you able to open your character sheet? Okay, hold on.
Fantasy Grounds for me
Grounds
is
is-
just 2/3 of a gray map.
Oh my god. Okay, so if you, but you know, Mark, make sure you click on your characters and open your. This isn't going to last much longer. We're getting rid of this fucking shit. So, anyway, in terms of cantrips,
I got it open. I found my character sheet. So what am I?
guidance,
looking for?
light, mending, and sacred flame. So yeah.
you could cast guidance on your ride. You could just put your hand. I mean, you're touching him already, but if you put your hand on him and just be like, "You're a good boy," then you can cast guidance as a cantrip, which is costless.
In Athos, everyone
did-
tosses a dwarf.
Not get any of that.
Guidance is a cantrip, which means
Was all
you can cast them
broken up,
infinitely.
so-
There's no
Yeah, you can
Limit?
cast it every fucking round, however much you want. And guidance, you can impose a bonus on other players. So you touch one willing creature, you're already cradled by one willing creature. Once before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of its choice. It can roll the die before or after the ability check. The spell then ends. So if you want, like, if you're just like getting jostled along and you just want to make sure that Kraukus got a little bit of extra help, you can just kind of give him a little guidance tickle, and
at no cost.
just a little guidance tickle.
There's no reason.
And make sure that he gets just a little bit extra, because you know, like really, like with Kraukus, anything wisdom based really probably could use all of the help he can get.
He needs a buff. He needs a buff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that will last until he chooses to use it.
Well, the guidance cantrip lasts for 1 minute.
Oh, 1 minute, but that's 6 rounds. Is that right, or is it 10 rounds?
10 rounds. 10 rounds.
10 rounds. 10 rounds. Yeah. So it's up to you. I'm not pushing you in that direction.
I'm pushing you. You guide that fucker.
So is that what you're doing, Mark? Confirm this, Mark. Confirm that this is what you are choosing to do as an autonomous individual.
You're muted, by the way, pal. Don't know if you know.
Old man Mark.
Andreyko, Mark.
Yeah. Not the other old
Yeah,
man, Mark.
I'm clear on that. I just want to make sure.
I got the last 5 minutes. I got nothing but you guys sounding like Charlie Brown's teacher. So I have no idea.
Oh my god!
That's so funny.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's
Okay.
so funny.
Mark,
So real
all
quick,
you need to
wait.
know
Okay,
is
everybody
that
be
guidance
quiet.
is
Mark, can you hear me?
At the moment,
Okay.
I can't.
So if you were to cast guidance on Craucus, you would give him a plus D4 to any roll for the next minute that he chooses. So it is a no-brainer.
Okay.
And because it is a cantrip, you can cast it over and over and over again because you never lose it.
Okay.
Cantrips are like sword blows in 5th edition. You can cast it over and over again all day long. So you can cast, like, if you never have a, like, if you have an idea, like, if you don't have an idea of, like, what can I do this round? Like, there's nothing I can do. Well, then I'll just cast guidance on somebody. Like, you're attacking them? Here, I'll give you an extra D4.
And all you need
boom.
for guidance is to touch them. So as long as they're within your touch
Yeah,
range.
you just have to touch them. And right now, you are being swaddled by the half giant. And I just, I see this so clearly in my mind.
That also
right
sounds
now.
like that Loving Bigfoot type of book on Amazon. Swaddled by a giant.
Swaddled by a
So
giant.
do I go over to the little red thing by guidance and double click on that?
I don't think you even have to do it.
Don't even worry about that. You don't have to do anything. Just you
Just
choose
confirm.
who you want to cast it on, and if it's Joe, if it's Craucus, then Joe, just remember that you can add a D4 to any roll you choose in the next 10 rounds.
Cool, then I'll do that.
Okay. So as you're swaddling Craucus, he starts making little gestures and saying little prayers to the sun and to the flames of Athos, and says, bestow upon this great oaf your divine providence, dark sun of this land, fire of our people. And Craucus, you just feel a little better. You just feel a little more confident. And then maybe next time you're going to get a little bit better roll.
Oh, well,
and
that was nice.
Going forward is now Gazako's turn.
I'm confident that I know where the trap is, so I can land beside it and guide people around it.
Yeah, you know that it is directly to the east of you.
Yeah.
By 5 feet. And if anyone were to step into that space right to the east of you, that's a bad thing.
Yeah, so I'm just going to stand there as a guardrail.
Okay.
And
Guardrail begins. Desi, you're at the back of the pack.
I would like to catch up with everybody. Oh,
Okay.
I can't.
Do you want to dash? Because you can dash through friendly space.
Is it still difficult terrain?
Yeah,
on
at
the
this point it
last-
must be trampled by Craucus, right? She could just
Craucus has complete up until Craucus, he has scattered the bones to the point where you can walk freely. But past him is difficult terrain. So you can go 5, 10, 15, 20, and then from Craucus, it's going to be difficult terrain. So you could still dash and get another 15 feet.
Okay.
Say, so right there. You can get right there. 5, 10, 15. Yeah.
This
Okay.
is why D&D makes no sense.
Yeah, D&D is crazy. What the hell?
Yeah, it's crazy. Welcome to D&D, Mark. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. Because of the fact that we are, all of you, like right now, like we've identified where the last trap is, and why the fuck are we taking our, like, wasting time on this? The rest of you guys
tell
can
us.
get, yeah, the rest of you guys can get, basically the rest of you guys can get right up a, son of a bitch. See,
Yeah, tell
this
us.
is the thing. This is the thing that should not happen when you're moving things around as a DM. I should not be able to put somebody in a trap and then get stuck. Because right now Crocus is stuck.
Good job, Crocus.
God damn it! Oh, fucking turn it off. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna move all you guys up because you figured it out. And you're all basically stationed around the perimeter of the tower, and you know that this space that exists directly between Desi, Crocus, and Gezaakos is where the pitfall is. And in fact, you just pick up a stone and you can throw it in. Sorry, I'm doing like a very classical, stereotypical Looney Tunes hiccup from being drunk.
But you're stone cold sober, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'm stone cold sober. I'm stone cold sober. So the rest of you can basically avoid this trap. And now you can see, you can gather inside the tower itself. And you can see that there is in fact a trap door that leads into the space. Unfortunately, Crocus, because you're a large creature, for some reason it doesn't let me do that. Anyway, okay, so we'll put you there. Okay, so, okay, I know that Mark Sable, you've been just being so patient with us as an NPC. I am so sorry. But you now realize that the group is basically arrayed around the entrance into the back way. So is there anything you'd like to tell them now that you know that they're up there, ready to come down? You're still working on connecting Chance to the Brood Queen.
So, what do I know lies between them and me at this point?
Well, you know that where the ladder comes down from the tower is in one of the bed chambers of the higher ups of the Yanti. I believe that's where the Malisons bunk. The pitmaster is not there. So if you like, Mark, if you look at your map,
yeah, I have both
there
maps.
There's the very top, the very northern western chamber, and from there is the tunnel that leads off up and around to the brood chamber of the queen, and then just south of that is the entrance into the slave chamber. And then directly south of that is what leads out into the larger kind of barracks, you tend to call them, of the Yanti. And then off to the west of that is where the spinning room is.
I'm in the spinning room right now?
Well, you're not. You're not even on this map. You're off to the north. The tunnel that leads off up and out to the north, up in the top right corner, that leads into the brood chamber. That's where you are right now.
And there, so just again, because I'm there, the trapdoor leads down to which room on this map that I'm looking at?
The one that has that basically connects directly to that tunnel, where you see two beds.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's you see the little dots that run across. That's the wooden stakes that constitute the gate that closes off that tunnel from the brood chamber. And then there's the gate that leads into the slave chamber, that little room that's off to the south of.
That's where I began, yeah.
That's where you are kept when you are not on ship. That's where all of the enslaved individuals are kept when they are not when they are not on shift. And
who do I believe is in that chamber with the 2 beds right now, or do I not know?
So because of the fact that right now is the changing of the guard and this like kind of ritual moment that you really don't know what you're supposed to call it. Usually that that ritual happens out in the larger chamber.
Okay.
Which is directly to the south. You can tell the spinning chamber because it's directly south of that room, off to the west, and you can see those apparatus that I've drawn, where there's people split.
Right.
Out
Yes.
on
So
tables.
and it's great actually. By the way,
That's the spinning room. Directly off of that, that's the main barracks for the brood chamber. To the south of that room is the primary entrance into the silk operation. And that is where you see these 2 little objects right down here by this dotted line. Those are stools where typically Yuan-Ti, either your traditional kind of standard Yuan-Ti or purebloods, station themselves as guards, protecting that entrance in and out. And the pitmaster, so if you go stay on that room, and in the middle of that room are 2 massive wooden posts where they torture slaves who have been unsatisfactory. If you go directly north of that, you see like a little stairway ramp that leads up into the pitmaster's chamber.
Gotcha.
You've never been up in there except for maybe like once or twice to deliver goods. But that's where the pitmaster stays. And you know that up in that room, there are 2 windows that oversee the Brood Queen's chamber, because you can see them from the Brood Queen's chamber, and you can see the torchlight. There's only 1 lantern in that room, and that is where the pitmaster has their desk, where they keep track of all of the accounting for what's happening. And because there is a lantern there, when you're down in the Brood Queen's chamber, you can see up through those apertures, those holes in the cavern wall. And every once in a while, like in the past few months, when you have been working in that space, you'll look up over your shoulder and you'll see the pitmaster staring down at you. And the pitmaster is an individual who has the body of a humanoid, either human or mule or elf, half-elf skin, but then the head of a serpent and the arms that slowly transform into all of these serpentine fingers. And so each arm terminates in at least half a dozen serpent tails. And as far as you know, the pitmaster is incredibly dexterous with these serpent tails, enough that they can actually write fine script. You've seen the script that comes out of this place. One of the reasons is because you have managed to ascertain what merchant house is behind this operation. And the name that you keep seeing over and over again is Ianto. I-A-N-T-O. Ianto. And of course the word Tyr. And now granted, because you're from Tyr, that made connections. You know that House Ianto is one of the minor merchant houses of Tyr. and you know that their primary stronghold is not actually in the city of Tyr. It's about 20 miles outside the city along the main trade route that runs east-west outside of Tyr. You, however, were working for House Stell, which is a major merchant house outside of the city of Uruk, and you were in charge of their silk operation in Uruk. And suddenly one day, one of your bosses showed up, lashed you, told you that you had been sold, and the next thing you knew, you were on a caravan south, and this is where you ended up. And it's taken you about 3 months to ascertain that you had basically been sold to House Ianto. Even though you were not an enslaved individual prior to this.
Okay. So I think I'll communicate this to Mark, and I'm going to say. One more question for you, Aaron, which is just quickly: do I see the pitmaster up there now, or have I seen since I've been in the brood chamber?
Give me an investigation check.
Okay.
And we should be wrapping this up because I know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't even put it in the dice.
21. Oh, so yeah, there are a few moments where you glance over your shoulder and you see the pitmaster up there. But you know that the pitmaster does not observe the ecclesiastical rituals of the rest of the Yanti. And so you know that there's still probably about 10 minutes or so more left before these rituals end. The pitmaster himself, like I said, does not engage. And you are able to make your connection with the group, realize that they have made their way actually to the tower itself, and the rest of you can make your way down. It's very clear once you get up there into the tower itself. There is a trap door very clearly right in the middle of the tower itself. And as the sun begins to shine higher and higher, and the chill of the Athasian night begins to burn away into searing heat, already it's at least 80 degrees. Just as the sun begins to crest over the ringing mountains, you can pop that lid on the trap door and look down and see that it is completely pitch black and utterly silent. There is no one below. So, unless there's anything else that anyone would like to do in this moment, please speak now.
I mean, can I say something quick, or?
Yes.
Just basically so Mark, come down quickly, proceed. There'll be a tunnel to your northwest. There's a gate there. Come through there and help me slay my master. That's your only chance to save chance.
Do you think there is any Yanti we'll encounter between here
There
and there?
will be one. There will be one who is the one who lashed me. It is possible if we don't act quickly, we might alert the pitmaster, but
all right. We're coming. Close your eyes. Visualize it for me. Show me this place, and I'll do it in the dark. And then I will be the first to go down the trapdoor into the dark. My Chachkachas and my Githka are at the ready. I will attack anything that moves or tries to grab me.
Okay. Okay, so you have only 5 foot sensory vision. Who else? Cha'ar has dark vision, and I believe Desi has dark vision. I think that's it for the rest of the group. For the rest of you, it is almost pitch black. You can see some dim light filtering in from like a southern chamber. But basically you have to hold each other. You enter into a room. For Cha'ar and Desi, you can see that you're in some kind of bed chamber. As you come down from the ladder, on the far wall opposite you, you can see a couple beds made out, and there is a rack filled with weapons. Then there is a hallway that leads off the absolute south of the room, where you can see light actually coming from. And you follow, or following BAP's orders, you can see that there is a small archway that leads off the southwest portion of the chamber. And then there is the path that BAP told you to take, which leads basically directly west out of this bed chamber. You follow that, it sort of snakes back around on itself, heads north, completely pitch black. So Ma'ak, you can sense what is directly around you, the individuals, the rest of the group. Cha'ar, Desi, unfortunately, the two of you end up having to take point, and the rest of you have to hold onto each other as you follow, and you snake through this pitch black chamber, this pathway that then opens up into this massive cavern that is filled with phosphorescent, iridescent light that's emanating from the water itself. And you look out across it, and this chamber must be at least 100 feet in diameter. You can hear the sound of water pouring down like a waterfall at the very back of the chamber. The water itself is glowing this translucent blue. And you can actually, as you step into the chamber, you can see directly to the cavern floor. And then you look out and you can see dozens, perhaps 100 or more individuals standing up to their waist in this thick water that, as it ripples, it creates this thick slapping sound. And you can see through this crystal clear water this shining bright white filament of thread that spreads out in all directions, and everywhere an individual is standing, there is, just as Bap said, this blossom, this cord of bright white filament that runs up and then spreads out like a flower, like a tulip, rising up around the base of this individual. And you can see these filaments twining around the legs of these people, rising up out of the water, twined around their arms, holding them down, holding them in this position where they are slumped forward slightly, their head jacked up, almost as if it's attempting to pull them into the water itself. And then there is this one single bundle behind each of them, this bundle of bright white thread twisting on itself like yarn, rising up out of the water, snaking itself across their back, coming out at a sharp, obtuse angle, arching back, going directly into the nape of their neck, where you see this livid red circle, which is oozing with black, thick, almost like syrupy blood that just oozes and drips. And all of them stand facing like an amphitheater, all directed toward the Queen Mother, heads back, mouths open, eyes wide, blank, milky white, mouths emitting a white glow, silent screams. And at the very back of the chamber, you see the massive coil of the silkworm queen. And it just pulses, and it oscillates color, purple and red. And every once in a while, it twitches, its mouth opens, and then it rests and it twitches. And directly behind her is a waterfall of crystal clear mineral water. And you smell the scent of fermenting eggs coming from this chamber. And the heat is stifling. And that is where we shall leave it for tonight. Thank you for joining us once again for Dark Sun, Fire, and Sand. We'll be back next, 2 weeks? Mark, once again, thank you so much for being one of our sacrificial NPCs. Well, hopefully no.
Thank you for having me.
I hope that BAP becomes a fixture of our world, and I hope that can he return next time?
I should be. I'm going to have to check what 2 weeks from now is.
Okay.
Should be able to.
I really hope, because I really want to see BAP do some great things in his effort to be free. And yeah, so anything else anybody got to say? Otherwise, thanks for watching, and just, I don't know, come back in 2 weeks.
Thanks all.
Yeah. Are we doing this little thank you. And once again, I really have to thank whoever gave us 100 bits at the beginning of the show.
That was Cookie Pouch. Cookie
Pouch. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Every little tiny bit helps as we work to build this thing from the ground up that we're just getting started with. So,
thanks, Cookie Pouch.
Good night, everybody. Everybody wave. Good night from Athos.